This is just a dry run. So if you're watching this with us live or on the replay, this is a dry run for Saturday's virtual book launch for Bill Butler's book, Navigate the Medical Maze. All right. So, Bill, this is a dry run. I want your eyes to be in the upper third of the screen. Right now, it's in the bottom third of the screen. So, adjust your camera so that look at my eyes, where my eyes are on the screen. There you go. A little bit more, just a little bit more. These are the kinds of things that we adjust before the broadcast. Much better.
So if I bring it down, then it's closer. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So do you have any questions for me before we just kind of do a very...
No, I just have to get the volume corrected before for
okay. I think it's on my end. I think people have said that my voice seems to be softer. But how would I say?
We'll get it done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you hear me at least?
Yes, I can hear you.
But it's kind of, is it very, very faint? Is it very, very faint?
It's very faint.
Oh, man. Well, I can
hear you. If we're on a level 1 to 10, it's about a 2, maybe 3.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay. Let me see if I can adjust my settings here for my speakers. Let's see here.
I don't see. My volume is up high.
Oh, okay. Hello. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me better?
Slightly
better. Okay. How about this? Can you hear me slightly better?
Yes.
Better? Okay. Good.
Better, but still faint.
Still faint. Okay, hang on. Okay. All right, how about now? Is it a little bit better than before?
Yeah, it went to a 5 to a 6.
Okay, good. And what happens in the actual broadcast when you watch the replay, my volume is just fine, but it's between me typically and my guest that it just, for whatever reason. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you first. So before I bring when we start, I'm just going to introduce myself, blah blah blah, and then I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to read your bio. Do you prefer that I call you Bill Butler, or you want me to say William?
You can call me Bill. Can you get the mic closer to you?
Oh yeah. Sorry. So do you want me to call you Bill? Is that okay?
Bill.
Cool. So when I introduce you, I'm just going to read your bio. I'm going to say, William Riley Butler, also known as Bill Butler, was raised in Fayetteville, Manlius, New York, and now resides in Massachusetts. And I'm going to read your bio. He was an honor student at Syracuse University, a successful high technology sales executive. He has a son, Billy, in Hollywood, and holds a 2nd degree black belt in Ed Parker's Kenpo Karate. Then I'm going to read all the way to the end. So then I'm going to say, I want to welcome to this live virtual book launch, my friend Bill Butler. How are you doing, Bill? And then you get to answer.
Excellent.
Great. All right. So then we're going to dive in to the questions. And I'm going to read question number 1. Bill, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, there actually was a few reasons why I wrote the book. One was the fact that I experienced 11 operations, 12 rehabs, 2 induced comas, many blood transfusions, at which point I knew I had the knowledge and the ability to work out a book for current and future patients, I guess is the best way to put it. I ran the concept by the surgical team that helped me in Newton Wellesley. Actually, they saved my life. And they all thought that it was a very, very good idea. Separately, they all thought it was a great idea. And the fact that they hadn't seen a book like it. Matter of fact, one of the surgeons said to me, if you write it and I like it, then I'll make sure that all my residents have to read it. So that was a positive reinforcement that I needed to move it forward.
Good thing this is
the other part. The other part is when I was actually doing the research for the book. I found that the records, which I say in the book is very important for each patient to get after any consultation, any preliminary operation, and the operation itself and post-operation. But after reading the reports and getting the knowledge of these bacteria, the staph infections that I received 3 times, one from one hospital, 2 from another hospital, 2 different hospitals, 2 different HMOs, it was found that factually, and especially from the CDC, that those bacterial infections only could happen in operations or a hospital.
Oh
So
my.
I had to try to make sure that I put a story together that was real and only to help people not make the same mistakes that I made and other patients that are in the book.
Right. Excellent. Excellent, Bill. So good thing this is a dry run. When you answer on Saturday, there should be no lag.
You know what?
No lag. Like you paused for a very long time and there was just
Yeah,
silence.
I have, what I'll do before Saturday is really read through
Right.
it.
Yeah, practice. Okay, one more thing, Bill, is that the light is a little bit too hot, too bright, and it's going to your forehead. So I don't know if you can move your.
How's that?
Okay, let's try that. If you have a seat, still shining on your forehead. Maybe you can move the camera a little bit more down towards your face, and then it doesn't capture the light because your eyes still have to be in the upper third. Yeah, much
Interesting.
better. Yeah, much better. See, your forehead is kind of there's a bright light.
Yeah, hold
shining.
on a second.
You bet. I'm gonna eat some.
How's that?
Much better. Yeah. That did it so good. And then, by the way, this is so unnatural, Bill. When you reply, when you answer, look at your camera. I'm looking at my camera right now. I'm not looking at you on my screen because when you look at me on my screen, it's like you're looking down. Look at me right now. I'm looking straight at my camera, which is right here where I'm pointing. I'm looking.
Oh, you're looking right. Okay, right now I'm looking at the camera. Is that good?
Yeah, that's fantastic. It looks like you're looking at your audience because the camera is just a little bit higher than your eyes, right? It's not a whole lot. Right?
I'm looking right. It's about right at my face.
Perfect. That's perfect. Right now, what you're doing, that's perfect. So so I'm looking at my camera, and then you can see it's as though I were looking at you directly. So when you're speaking to your audience,
Okay.
yeah. So it's very important. So the light, the camera. I mean, look at the camera. Very, 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 very unnatural. So okay, let's go to the next. I love your answer because it opens up a can of worms of, oh, I didn't know that in the hospital I can actually contract this challenge, which you can only get this kind of bacteria from hospitals. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Second question. Bill, since you're not a medical professional, what credibility do you have to give advice on such sensitive life and death topics or issues?
Well, the book is not meant to be educational in the sense of giving advice. And it is more focused on the fact of education and or telling real life stories from surgeons, from nurses, from primary doctors, as well as CNAs, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and recreation. Things that you have to look for both in hospitals and rehabs. So what my experience has done, it's been from interacting with these individuals and from 12 rehabs and 3 different hospitals and so many operations. I've gotten to know it quite well enough to actually interview these people and put it together for advocacy, to understand the reason, importance of opinions, to understand why it's important to look at hospitals and surgeons multiply from different resources, either the CDC or from Medicare.gov, which is has so much information. At which point you don't need, if you're going to do an independent research, you're not really going to need to be a medical professional. I found that the medical professional books that I've read, or even market researched, is that the doctors or the medical professional will speak only really to what they know. I mean, the actual diagnosis, a issue of the what problem they're trying to fix, whatever cancer it might be, whatever it might be, or just in doctors in general. But they're specific. They're not. They're to some other person's source where, okay, now I see why that book I wanted to be. It's not written from the point of view of what the doctors' roles are, why you should think about it, what their opinions might be, and the patients of what the patient feels. And these are all true stories with some heartbreaking stories for that matter. And we also get into infections and pain and scale incapabilities, which is extremely important for relaying communication to the doctors. It's a two-way conversation book, not specific on one different medical problem.
Mm, I love it because you point out, and there's a disclaimer in your book that you're not a medical professional, but you have encountered so much, and you have been a deep researcher of all these many things, and you even have doctors who approve of you publishing this book because they know that it is vital information, not just for patients, but also for surgeons, for primary care physicians, for nurses, for CNAs, for so many other medical professionals. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm looking down just so I can prepare because I just wrote this up. So.
Oh yeah, no problem. And when I ask you a follow-up question, the follow-up question needs to have a very short follow-up answer, like yes, correct, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Then that way we can tackle more. Because if we have enough time, I'd love to go through all the backup questions as well. Right? So the shorter you can make your replies, but with real life examples, like when you said, "What inspired you to write this book?" I've had how many surgeries? 11 or something like that, and then so many rehabs. And so you said, "Oh my word, this man is not just a somebody who just had one surgery. No, this gentleman has had a lot and has experienced a lot." So they can perk up their ears and listen.
Well, I forgot to mention that if I put it all together, I've spent over 324 days in either the hospitals or rehabilitation.
Wow, you can say that. And also share with them like how much money you've had to shell out because of all the hospital expenses, medical expenses, etc.
That's the problem there, Jackie, because I didn't have to shell out anything.
Oh, okay. No problem then. So just the number of days that you've had to be in the hospital, that would be fantastic. Cool. Okay. So when you cite real life statistics, real factual numbers of doctors that you've spoken with, or that way it backs you up. You've researched this for how many years? You've talked to many doctors. You've talked to many, RNs. You've talked to ARNPs, etc., PAs, whatever. Then that will bring so much credibility to your book, even though you're not a medical professional. Make sense?
Okay.
All right. So in the middle of these questions, I'm going to say, okay, if you haven't gotten your Kindle book of Bill's latest book, Navigate the Medical Maze, please do so right now because it will go up in price to whatever price we say, like $9.99 or $14.99 by August 11. That's so August 7, 8, 9.
Or is this something you're going to be saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How long do you want to promote it? Because I can promote it for.
I'd like you to do the promo because because you know the system inside the system.
Right. Absolutely. I'll do that. So I prefer that we stop it at 5 days. So August 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That way they're not saying, "Oh, I still have until next weekend." So the more they procrastinate something, the more that they won't buy the book. Also, I need to get your what's your price for those who do buy the book? Write a short review, preferably within the week, within 1 to 2 weeks of them buying the book. And then they take a screenshot of the review, then send you an email. Then what is the price of the free gift? You don't have to answer it right now because we're doing the dry run, but do make sure that you give it to me sooner than later.
Well, they've already purchased the 99-cent online version, correct?
Right. When they do purchase it, then we are incentivizing them to preferably write a 5-star Amazon review.
Right.
And when they do that, when they write a review, then they can take a screenshot of the review they wrote and email you, and I'll give out the email that you want to
Why
give
would
them.
I want to give them another price? I'm missing the point.
Not because the more Amazon reviews you have, 5-star reviews, the more it's going to go up into the Amazon algorithm, and Amazon starts promoting it. If you
Well,
don't, and people who look at your book, if there's no reviews, like, well, how do I know if this is good? So
well,
the
I
more,
understand that. I just
yeah,
maybe I'm confused because you mentioned lowering my price from $19.95 to something else.
no. I'm talking about your Kindle. We're talking about your Kindle. It's on sale for
Okay.
99
Okay.
cents.
Yep.
The Kindle is on sale for 99 cents. That's what we want to boost to number one.
Right.
Okay. Paperback, we're not talking about the paperback. Just it's out of the table. It's off the table. This launch is solely for people to buy your Kindle book at 99 cents and to
Yes.
get them to write Amazon reviews.
Yes.
And then when they do take a screenshot of the written review, email it to you. What is the price you're gonna send to them or whatever? Give to them.
Got it.
All righty.
What
Cool. And
about
I'll
the
be
third? What
promoting
about
it.
the third question?
We don't have to go through that right now because you can practice that on your own. Do you have any questions for me about the launch? Because we're going to talk about tactics and strategies. You can practice that on your own. Like you ask yourself the question. And
Yeah,
let
I
me know.
mean, I've spoken in front of 5 people or 1,000. It's just getting it practice. So
Yes,
yeah,
correct, correct.
I think keywords. I just wrote everything out so I know that maybe keywords are going to be better.
Yes, keywords make it maybe as brief as possible without detracting from the main point you want to make, and also include an example and or a story, like an anecdote. Like, for example, blah 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 blah. You know. Like, for example, in question, I know many people who were referred to just one surgeon by a primary doctor. Everything worked out well. Why bother waiting to get multiple opinions? So you can cite examples of those who would have done better had they gotten multiple opinions, and or an example where they did get multiple opinions and they found out, oh, the second, third opinion was really, really
Well,
vital.
in true story, Jackie, there are people there like Pat Senior who lost his leg. My brother who got the wrong primary sent him to the wrong hospital and the wrong
Oh.
surgeons.
See, those are the
You
kinds of
have
stories. Those are the kinds of stories we want to hear about.
well, there's a guy in the casino whose sister died within 2 weeks because of an infection and never even
Oh,
bothered to look at other hospitals and or other surgeons. I have I have one that's really a doozy, and that has been when I was at a Patriots game. I'll tell you this one, see if you like it. I was at a Patriots playoff game at a friend's house one day, and I was in between operations, but I was walking very strangely, more like a ninja girl or a ninja girl or whatever I might say. Think about that one. And he asked me what was wrong, and I said, well, I had an operation on my spine, and there was a complication. And he said, really, where'd you have it? So I told him the name of the hospital, which I won't say here.
right.
And he said, so and so and so and so. And what he did was he named the first name of the surgeon that was my surgeon.
Oh,
And my jaw dropped because how would he know the name of my surgeon?
correct.
Well, he started walking toward me. He'd been leaning against the cupboard. And he started walking toward me, and he was crippled. He couldn't walk well. He couldn't do anything. And it turns out that we both didn't do second opinions. We both had the same surgeon and their team. And we were both crippled for the rest of our lives.
Oh my goodness. That is so key. That is good. Very, very good. Okay, go ahead.
So that's like in the third, we're off school, that's in like the third, comment about it. If a lot of people have been giving me issues, they stopped. But why aren't you're disabled? That's a politically, Social Security, SSDI is you're disabled. Well, no, I'm crippled. The definition of disabled is physically and mentally impaired.
Right.
I am physically impaired. Major difference.
Yes, absolutely right. Cool. I love that because it brings it down to you, what you experienced, and then the same experience happened to him because of the same surgeon, and both of you didn't. I love it. I think you should include that story. It's powerful.
Well, I have to put it all together because I can say I'll put enough emphasis on it. I mean, all I have to do, I've tried to, Jackie, realize how much pain I was in, literally.
Mm. Oh,
That's why you need to learn the pain scales to understand
yes,
why. But
right.
I asked a friend of mine, I was driving, and his wife was in the back seat, and I had to be in the front because of my legs. And I said, I've been trying to remember the pain. This was my advocate, and I just can't remember. And so Ann, his wife in the back seat, said, well, Bill, it's easy to understand. And I said, well, what's that? She said, that's why women have more babies. The bottom line was they can't remember the pain.
Wow.
The brain shuts it down. So
Yep.
get through the operations, get through everything they need to do to save your life or a friend or whatever it might be, and don't remember the pain because you're not going to be able to.
Mm. Wow. Amazing. All right. Woof. Okay. So, do you have any other questions? Who are your main launch team? Like maybe people who you know are going to promote this broadcast, promote your book on Facebook, share your on Facebook.
I
Do you have
sent
an
out 3 emails, group emails. One to business partners. Another one, the first one was really to friends and family. What I'm going to do is break that out into business friends and friends, and then family, because family goes, oh, Bill, it's great. That's fine. I want them to understand that this is extremely important. That
Yeah.
one, they buy it for 99 cents and they give me the review and they do what Jackie told me to tell them to do so that I can get a review. It's extremely important for the success of the book. Forget about the money. It's the success of the book and people that we're going to help.
Absolutely.
I'm
Right.
going to do something similar to friends and business acquaintances that know me that would accept an email like that. I'll check out the other groups. One of the other groups, the groups that I'm going to send it to, and I tried to play with that a little bit today, and I'll play with it again tomorrow. But I'm going to send out your connection. I'm going to share your what you sent out to me, and make sure that they're tied into it. Hopefully, there's not going to be any glitches based on the way they're doing it, but everybody's accepted me into their groups, and it doesn't seem to be any resistance toward it.
Oh, good. Yeah. And
How
I
about
sent
you?
Yeah, I sent. Oh God, sorry.
How about you? What's your next steps?
Well, my next steps are to prepare my script for the book launch, and I continue promoting your launch on my Facebook pages, my Facebook groups, and LinkedIn. So I'll send you the 2 other memes so you can also use that.
One thing you might want to write down, and that is credibility.
Mm.
Credibility comes from experience,
Mm-hmm.
but as an author, what's my credibility? So I don't want to get into my first book because it's a different topic, a
Right.
whole can of worms, right? But that first book, I know from the emails that I've received and the reviews I've received on Amazon, if you read them, is that it's turned people's lives around or it saved their lives. At which point it has been endorsed by 2 of the world-renowned people in that particular field of homelessness and recovery, field of substance abuse and recovery, recovery from jail to avoid substance abuse and homelessness.
Wow.
Those people are like William White and Dr. Best out of London. William White is down in Florida. And you can't get any better endorsements than those. And they are on the website.
Right. What we could say is that, I mean, maybe in your bio, we could say that Bill Butler has authored his first book. We don't have to mention the topic, but his first book really helped, if you want to add that, like really helped what you just said. Hundreds of lives get turned around. And also, the book has been recognized by 2 world-renowned experts and authorities on the subject. We don't have to say it's about homelessness.
I can get it done.
Okay, cool.
You asked me about certain questions. One Now, this is a good question. When you've done this with other people, what questions am I not asking that I should be asking?
That I should ask. Yeah, because those are called should ask questions because they don't even know where to begin asking you the right questions. So you think of the questions that they don't even know to ask, but you know that they should be asking you. Then you feed that to me and I'll ask it of you.
How long is this going to last?
30 minutes.
Okay.
And,
And are they going to have any time to ask questions?
Yeah, so we need to maybe finish up with our segment for 20 minutes or 25 minutes and then have a short segment of live question and answers, depending on who tunes in, because the more people tune in. The most important thing is um, that your Kindle book gets bought during that period of time. That's the most important thing. The second is maybe people share it, people get to know about, like, by the way, tagging. You have to type in the names on the comments. You cannot just say family and
Oh, you're
friends.
phasing out again. Say again.
Oh, I said, remember I asked you to tag your family and friends in the comments section. What you did was you said family and friends, please do, whatever it is you told them. You actually have to write their names down. I mean, type their names and then it'll pop up. The names will pop up. Then you click their names. I'll send you a Facebook. I'll send you.
Believe it or not, I don't know how to tag.
That's okay. That's okay. I've tagged you.
I saw that, but I went on YouTube today to find out how to tag. I decided to hire get Daniel over here and do a walkthrough on some of this stuff, but it'll be too late for us.
No problem. No problem. It's easy to tag. Let's see. Can I share my screen?
I do know that 8 out of the LinkedIn have already given the thumbs up.
Wonderful.
Only 8 though. 8 out of 400. So
still, it's just the beginning. I mean, it's not like you're gonna, once we launch your book, it reaches bestseller. It's not like you're gonna drop it off and it's like a baby. You promote it and you keep promoting and promoting.
Now we have 9 from LinkedIn. I just got to pop
Why? Up. There you go. See?
Okay, so I was asking how long it would last, and then the question and answer. Okay, that's fine.
Yep. Say goodbye and make sure that
I feel like I'm leaving something out. Yeah. How do you want to close?
I typically close with, I'm promoting you. I'm going to say, make sure you get Bill's book, which is at a very, very bargain bottom rate of 99 cents before it goes up to $9.99. By the way, here's what I found out. When I priced your book at $14.99, your royalties would be much less than if I priced it at $9.99. If I price I'm talking about the Kindle. I'm not talking about the paperback. If I price your Kindle book at $9.99, you get 70% royalties. If I price your book at $14.95 or $14.99, you only get 35%. So I said, I'm just going to price it at $9.99 because then you get, I think, about $6+ per Kindle book. Yeah,
but they often, Amazon's quite interesting because all of a sudden there's another charge. And I can't remember the name of the charge. It's 70% it's after cost.
It's only a delivery charge of like 0.0. It's a few cents. It's just a few cents. But your royalties.
I have to look at it again.
Yeah, it's
but
higher.
I priced it at $19.95 in order to get anywhere from $8 to $10 after cost.
Oh yeah, that's for your paperback. I'm talking about your Kindle. Your paperback is going to be at $19.95. That's fine. But I'm talking about your Kindle. Do you want me to keep it at $14.95 where you get a much lower royalty? Or
no, I'll go with you.
Okay, cool.
That's what you're more the expert than I am. That's why I'm with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I think maybe if you can get maybe 3 or 4 people to be with us live. That way there's a live audience. They can ask their questions,
Define live. How would we get them live?
Live, they click on the video link at 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Watch us live.
Aren't they? Okay, let's say I've got 9 already committed from LinkedIn. That's a good question. And before we have to cut off, how are they going to show up in the screen? As names on the side or?
When they comment, we'll see their comments.
But we don't see the total of people that are viewing.
I'll see it. I'll see it on my screen, but I don't want to.
How would I get the other individuals live to ask questions?
we'll ask them to type their questions, and I'm going to click the question, and it's going to pop up on the screen so everybody sees what we are reading, and their comments. So let's just say, for example, oh, Mark has a question for you, Bill. His question is, and I'm going to pop it on the screen, and I'm going to read the question, then you can answer it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I got
so
you. Okay.
they'll type it in. They're not going to be with us. This is our broadcast room. People don't barge into our broadcast room, right? They're going to be in the comments section. They're going to be watching us on their screen, but they can type on their comments what.
Well, let's forget Mike Rizzo. What you're saying is, if I can get you right, I'd ask Mike, just come up with a chat question, type it in, and ask me a question, just so we're getting questions, is what you're saying.
Yes. At
Okay.
the beginning, I'm going to encourage them. If you're joining us live, it's not for the replay audience. If you're joining us live, please type in your questions for Bill on the comments section, and we're gonna ask Bill as many questions as we can during the
Great
the
idea.
No, yeah.
I would have never thought of that. That's good. Okay, great.
Cool. So if you can make sure that people attend live, like your family, friends, that way we have a more interaction. It's so fun when there's live people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll try to make sure that I get my jargon down pretty well, so I'm not going like this.
Yes. Yeah. I hear you. You know what I do when I have a script? I have this software called TextEdit. It's on a Mac or any kind of Mac. So I type my script on TextEdit, and so I have this screen of our broadcast. I'm getting feedback.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Now.
Again,
your voice is. I have to really listen in order to get your voice. So.
Right. Maybe your speaker. You can turn it down.
It's not my laptop speaker. It must be some. Is there an icon here that I can use to increase the softwares or the link, like LinkedIn? Sometimes they have a speaker song, or Zoom. I mean.
No. You increase it from. It's in your settings. You go to settings, and then you go to sound. And then you can increase or decrease the volume of your input level and your output level.
Okay, I'll do that.
So you go to your settings. Do you have a PC or are you on a Mac?
I'm on a laptop.
No, what kind is it? Is it a
HP?
Apple? Okay, so it's a PC, personal computer, as opposed to Apple.
Yeah, I don't like
so
Apple.
It would be I think it's called settings. Back in the day, it used to be called.
I think I remember. I worked with it before. I can check it out.
Yeah, and go to sounds and then increase your input. Hello.
I'm here.
Oh, there. I'm not giving any more feedback. I mean, I'm not getting any more feedback. A while ago, there was an echo. Yeah. All right. So anything else? So you make sure you have a live audience. Make sure you have at least 10, 15 people that get your book,
Yeah, there's Saturday. A number of people that from LinkedIn that joined, and I have no clue who they are. So they're friends of friends, and they have names I cannot pronounce. So they probably are from the Middle East, more or less, but I'm not sure if they're Americanized or USized or whether they're actually from the Middle East. So.
So I'm going to stop our broadcast right now. But don't hang up, because we're going to still